I have always struggled with my internal justice system. When things, when rules are getting broken or why things aren't fair. My injustice system flares up like that. And it gets the best of me and I get all emotional and angry and da da da. And so that's something that I work on in recovery. So what happened the other day was someone lied to me about something, right? And typical, I knew the lie. I think most people know when they're being lied to. You can figure out the BS. And so I feel the lie. So what do? Is I do the big runaround and I start getting involved. I get involved in their lie. And so I start going across the fence to their side of the yard and I start doing the 20 questions, interrogating them about their lie. And I don't say, you lied, you're lying to me. I just know that it's a lie. And then I start interrogating them. And so here we are, we're doing the song and dance about this thing. And that's me spending my energy, right? So I'm having a human experience here and it's not a proud moment because, growing in recovery, I've just become a lot more conscious about my peace and my energy. And so the lose for me is that, I'm using my energy in the wrong places right now in this situation. So I do the 20 questions. It wasn't exactly 20 questions. It's just, I started doing that. And then they, went to, all corners of the, dodging it and saying one thing after another until they were cornered. And then when there was nothing else left to say but the truth, they said the truth. And then they admitted the truth in an angry way and then got all upset and mean and then said something mean and then hung up the phone. And then because now I'm involved and invested, I got all upset because I got into that. I didn't have to ask any questions at all. So I'm all upset and I'm just like, I did it again, and I can't believe they keep doing that. Like how can they just keep lying? Why are they lying? And I want to correct something here. I want this to be right. I want them to be right, act right, behave a certain way, principles over personalities. Like we're both in the program. Like, how come you're not being programmy? So here I am, I'm getting, I'm all into this, right? And that's not the best way to be. So I'm upset. I call my sponsor because I don't feel like I could get out of that on my own. And she, it's so simple, right? Does that work? Does that really work? Telling someone about the thing that they did was wrong, about how wrong it is. Does it make them change, And I think this really only is for unhealthy relationships. I think if two people are healthy, it's just a lot easier and quicker to just admit that hey, no, I meant this, or you're right. I should have just said the truth. I think in a healthy situation, it's possible for two people to just kind of have an honest conversation. But this wasn't my situation at that time. I was speaking with someone and they said the lie. I got all upset. And so I'm talking on the phone about that they did this. And so I'm thinking, and this is where control is an illusion. I don't have any power over that person changing at all. They're going to change on their own time. Me talking about them, me talking about what they should do better or how they should treat me or that they should be honest isn't going to change them. They don't see the change, the reason to change. They just see that, darn it, how inconvenient that she's caught me in my lie. They don't see that lie is wrong, and I need to get myself out of the way, get out of the part where I'm trying to correct them. So I'm on the phone we talk about how, like, do you think after all the thousands of times that you've had this conversation with this person that has anything worked? Have they been more honest? And they haven't, right? Like that's not changing. They're not changing because of my grand interjection, my intervening, my posting of signs, like my communicating isn't working here, And this was just like a really big awakening for me, like a spiritual awakening in recovery. And, when I let people be the way they are, like, I was like, yes, you're right. Like, yeah, they're being exactly the way they are. Like, they're being exactly what they've always shown me. When I start to believe that more, I'm in a better place. But when I'm taking the person that's doing the thing that I don't like, or the wrong thing, or the thing that I don't agree with, and I'm expecting them to be different all of a sudden, or I'm expecting them to be different because of one talk that we had, or 1,000 talks. I'm wanting and expecting something that from someone that isn't giving that. Like, their behavior doesn't show that or give that. So I'm reaching for something somewhere where I'm never going to be able to collect it. Now, here I am trying to collect something, trying to collect a debt that is owed, a wrong to be right, written right. Like I'm needing something out of this to, be better, even the score, to be okay, like for whatever reason I need it that way. It's not really fair for me to be out there collecting. And when I'm trying to make someone understand something, it doesn't mean they'll change. And I've gone, this is a cycle that we have, and I've had this fight with this person many times over the years. And, like the caught in the lie, like I knew it was the lie, like it's just the same old familiar dance, and we do the dance, and then, I'm all hurt after. It's my feelings to be hurt, my choice, and I'm hurt. And, but this time, the link here is that when I accept them, I'm actually forgiving them. And I'm forgiving them. And when I'm forgiving them, I'm letting them go. And when I let them go, I'm free. And, it's almost like I'm unhooking from that whole thing. Like when I forgive, like it's just a one-person job. Like I'm saving myself by forgiving. Like I'm just like letting that person be like the way that they are is forgiving them. And so this spiritual awakening for me was like the link between like accepting, not collecting, and then having forgiveness equals my freedom. Like this was just like a mind-blowing experience because I'd done this for so long, like I was insane. And then finally, like that broke the chain. Like I broke myself free from that thing. And so I'm talking with my friend about what I'm going to do next and like the new behavior that I can do, because recovery is like all about rewiring my brain. And it's like, you know what? It's just like a movie. My partner's acting the way that they're going to act. I'm going to accept them, that they're going to act the way they're going to act. They're going to, if they want to lie, hide, and, be in the crooks and crannies, like I'm just going to let them be like that. I'm not going to talk about how they're going here, there, and being like this. I'm just going to like watch it like a movie and let it go on. I'm not going to be the police here. I'm just going to watch the movie. And so I let this go on, let them be the way that they're going to be. And then see the lie happen, and let the lie go by. Like just let the lie go by. Let the person that's saying the lie go by, or the person that's being disrespectful or saying something rude or not being nice. Let it all go by and watch that go by and then not say anything. Like my job now is to not say anything. And that means I let myself be free. I got the help. I felt the feelings. I looked at the behavior that I didn't like that they did. I didn't like my behavior, but I can only control me, So I'm unhooking by forgiving. I'm not collecting anything anymore. I'm just like, this is just like over. I'm not going to act this way. Like I might slip up and act this way, but something really changed where I saw the cycle and I was able to, I'm going to have a better chance of handling this next time. So I'm going to watch the lie go by and I'm not going to invest. I'm just going to let it go. But then what can I do? I can just be like, okay, you know what? I do think that's a lie. That's a lie. And so I'm just going to plan for this to happen because of that lie. Or I set up my plan A, B, C for what I think really is going to happen and then wait and see what actually happens. Like plan my next move based on the information that I have collected, not trying to change the situation that's happening. Let that situation is happening. So now I'm just going to watch the movie go by and I'm going to plan for how I'm going to handle that movie that I don't like go by. And that's just something that I've really learned about forgiveness. And, it's just like a total like solo job to forgive. Like I get myself out of the mess. Like I don't go get involved. Like I've been involved in that situation so many times and it doesn't change anything, like if they're going to lie or they want to lie, like that's just the way that is. Like they have their reasons for protecting themselves or keeping me at a distance or not, like there's work there with honesty and we're not there, like we're not able to have that honest conversation. We're not able to work with the real stuff yet, but right now, like that's the wall I'm going to hit. And instead of just continually getting upset all the time over that, I'm just going to be better at accepting, like, here I'm at the wall, I'm at that place. They're saying that thing, they're doing that lie. I don't believe them. But, the other part of this is like that lie's happening and I'm getting all this fear because I'm like, well, if that's not true, then what's this going to happen? And my brain starts going in other directions, And so to handle my fear is just like come up with a plan for what I kind of think is going to happen here, and just like keep my expectations like super low. Like, I get myself really in trouble when I have expectations. But in this situation, like I'm not all of a sudden going to make a liar an honest person. Like I'm not their higher power and I'm not the one to get them there. Like I can't, like I can't be judgmental about it. I've felt the experience and had the experience and went through this frustration so many times and have learned that what's this reaction telling me that I'm having? What are my faults here telling me? Like I've been here before. Like I get to analyze my own stuff and then figure out how I'm going to operate next time. And then that's recovery and moving forward. Like, that's it. Like I can't go over to that side and be like, you need to plant here, you need to pluck there, you need to grow here. Like, and I was really bad for that in our relationship. But, this is just a way that I get through that now. And it kind of takes like that negativeness out of forgiveness because I was always so hung up on, well, if I forgive them, then I'm saying it's okay. Like, if I forgive them, then they're going to think that it's right or it's okay. And, it's still not right, and it's still not okay. But if I want to move on with my life, like, yes, I can accept that. But, the forgiveness is actually just for me, and it has nothing to do with them. Like, I don't think I'm going to bring up the lie anymore or talk about it. Like, I think I just like saw all my energy go into that, I actually saw it now. And so forgiveness is not, I have to separate that it's not that what they're doing is okay anymore. It's just like, do I want to still be attached to this? Do I want to still be attached to this thing that is like dragging my soul down right now and like draining my energy. I don't want to be attached to that thing that's draining my energy. So I just want to let it go. So, and sometimes I got to get on the phone and get myself unhooked from that situation and unhooked, focus on like the bad behavior, right? Like I was all in on that thing they did instead of just like, whoa, like next time it's just like, I can see it and know it, but don't do anything. Like, don't act on it. I don't want to act on it. I just want to be free of it. And so, this is the stuff that I learned in recovery. And I just think it's like really opened my eyes on forgiveness and just like when I'm letting that person like be how they are, even if it's not good, just like watch it go by. That's all I have to do to keep my peace. I'm not ignoring anything. I'm not saying that it's right. It's not right. It's just I choose to watch it go by and I choose to keep my energy. So, it's anyways, that's my little bit on something fresh about a lie, and I hope I can help someone with that one. Thanks.